Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Irene CBiz Media Faith, Love, and Trends. So we're going to get into another recap of 90 Day Fiance. This spinoff is before the 90 days. And for you 90 Day fans, you know 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples. One person's from the U.S., the other's from another country. There's language barriers, cultural boundaries. The goal is marriage, but that doesn't always happen, and they have a 90-day deadline to do it according to the legal system. So, a lot going on. But you guys know, 90 Day Fiance, this one is again before the 90 days. And we're going to start off with Berkan and Laura. Now, they were on a nice boat ride. They were discussing Berkan's gambling issues. But he said that he really loved her and he was going to try to work on his gambling problems. But he did ask her not to change him. It seemed like he was happy with this lifestyle, but after they continued to talk, he said for her, he would work on ending the gambling. So they returned back to their rental, and I'm assuming this may be the next day. I'm not exactly sure the timeline, but she says, I need to check in with my family for about 30 minutes. Can you kind of give me the space to myself? He was like, okay. And I think she said, you can go smoke that, whatever he smokes. So he went to go do that. That was an issue for her too, just the fact that he smokes that stuff every day. And I guess she thought he could be working a job, but whatever the case, she still continues to have some issues with him. And I guess that's a bit of a part of it as well. She still has reservations. She needs time to process these things. And she calls family or friend. No, she calls Michael, the guy that Berkan hates, the guy that has some interest with her, even though I don't know, he won't ever really come out and say it. I don't know if she's trying to poke the bear. I don't know if she still wants Michael and wants him to jump up and get jealous off this Berkan thing. I don't know. He says on the FaceTime call he's doing well-ish without her. Basically, he's missing her. That's not something you say to a friend that somebody's just your friend, that I've been missing you because you're out with this other guy and you're out of the country. It's the way it was said. She explains the whole issue with Berkan's debt. And she also explains the pros and cons of the guy. Says he's really a good guy. He really seems like he cares about her. And that's the good part about him. Michael says that she should come home. She's been emotionally compromised. He's running a con game on her. He makes her sound like she's kind of a dumb, delusional, sad woman. And she needs love so bad. She's so love-starved that she'll take any guy. And this guy is fooling her. And he says, well, if you really want to move forward with this guy, then let me come down and meet him. And she said, I don't know, that could be a problem. So she's like unsure if she's going to let that happen or not. I guess we'll see what happens next time as far as if she makes the decision or not. But I think it's a bad look. And I don't think he should come down there. It's going to make things even worse between them. If she wants to really end things with Berkan, that will be the thing to do. It reminds me of one of the other past 90-day stories where the young lady had her ex come down and kind of vet the guy. Always a bad idea to bring exes or people that you've had some type of history with. She should have maybe her parent, her mom, her dad, or some family member, or maybe even a female friend to come vet him. I think a lot of times the guys can vet better, so I would recommend a guy, but I would say it should be a family member, not a friend, because it can come off as if this person is intimately involved with you, especially if they give a negative review. Then you and the person be like, well, did you used to talk to this guy? How come this guy is whatever, etc., etc. It should be a family member, but that's just my basic take on that. And I don't know about these two, Laura and Berkan. I mean, it could work, but he's very young, and he's going to be young. He's going to act young. He's going to do some foolish things. And You're going to kind of have to play mom in that scenario. And if that's what you want to sign up for, then that's what you're going to sign up for. Now let's go to Stig and Aviva. Last time, Aunt Spring and her niece Corinth, they bust Stig on this information that he has been messing with Corinth's friend. And Aviva was asked to, she took Stig aside, so she's waiting outside. She's not hearing the conversation. I kind of respect that Aunt Spring did that and didn't bust him right in front of her. And it also kind of tests the type of man he was as well, because you'll see in a moment, the whole time Aviva's curious as what's going on. He says that he wouldn't lie if he was messing with someone else, is what he tells the ladies. He cries that this is bull, that this person is just a fan. He kisses girls all the time. And Aunt Sprig says, well, if you don't tell her, I will. So she gives him a chance to man up on the scenario. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, so will he is the question. So after he's been accused and some receipts have been pulled, to me, the evidence isn't real strong. He's kissing the young lady on the cheek. And it says something about you'll always be my love at the top. It looks like a social media post to me or something like that. To me, it doesn't look like it's a direct text. Now, I could be wrong. The receipts look a little flimsy. I don't know if I fully believe him or not. First, she says 3 months ago, this picture was taken, and then the two leave, and Aviva's kind of in the dark as to what happened. She was hoping things would go well, and then Aunt Spring will love him, but didn't look like it went that way, as Stig was so confident that he would be such a charmer. So she asked Stig, hey, what happened? And he honestly tells the truth that they had some receipts on him kissing a young lady on the cheek. And he said it was just a fan. He does that all the time. He takes pictures with fans, gives them a kiss on the cheeks, nothing serious. So she says, she's kind of iffy on the information. She says, well, she needs to see this for herself because he didn't have any of the receipts with him. So she needs to see for herself to assess, is this really true or not? So he's like, well, it's going to ruin our night. Looks like he's trying to get something. And she's like, you know what? I'm not really in the mood or whatnot. So I'm like, why is he trying to do that right now? Really? She's still upset the fact that, she came down there to start a family with him. Now he wants to pull back on possibly having a baby with her. And he won't say he loves her, though he's been sleeping with her multiple times through this whole trip. To me, I don't really even need many receipts based off of that type of behavior. He sounds so iffy and standoffish, but he's really quick to try to get some. There's some big character flaws and issues with that. If he isn't cheating, when will he commit? Does he have the ability to have a commitment level with her? Or is she just going to have to wait forever to have him settle down with her? I mean, if he has commitment issues, that's an issue right there. So I guess we're going to see next time, did Stig really do this thing? Now we have a newcomer here. We're kind of late in the show. I feel like we're like mid-season here. I think I'm right. And Elise comes through. Elise was on Hunt for Love. She got played by the guy that was into Tiffany, and he was kind of playing both sides. Elise continued to play that game with him, knowing that he was messing with Tiffany at the same time. She thought that she was going to be the one. He said all these things to her as if she was the one. So she was going to be in it to win it. Turns out it was all just a game for him, for this guy, and she was just a part of the game. So I think she moved foolishly in that situation. And if you see a guy that already has another woman and he starts messing with you, don't think it's because you're a better woman. You should think that this guy has character flaws and character issues, and if he really wants to be with you, he needs to call it off with the other person. And he claimed he was going to do that, and he did it, but then he tried to get back with her. So Anyway, don't hook up with people that are with other people. If they really want to be with you, they have to make a clean break and prove it and show that they're done with that person. And that's just my assessment. But let's get into her story right now. She's actually no longer with Carlo, who was playing the game with her on Hunt for Love. That's another 90-day spinoff for singles. She describes herself as outgoing, loving, kind-hearted, with great, I'll say, assets. I won't say all the things she said. She's doing some meditation. She's messing with a fidget spinner. I'm wondering if she may have ADHD or something. This is just an early assessment. This is like, I'm not an expert or anything like that. But just wondering, maybe that would come out. So she's going to see her parents, and she's considered the black sheep of the family. She feels her parents have this amazing relationship. Her brother is married and has a couple of kids. She's 32 and she's made poor choices with men, so she has no marriage, no family, no commitment. And she feels like she's the only one in the family like this. She's had 5 proposals. 3 she said yes to, but none of them went down the aisle. Now she has this new guy she's into, and she's going to get her parents' thoughts. She said that she thinks her parents wanted her to be with a Jewish guy, but she's never even been with the Jewish guy ever. So we see her dad. Her dad had 2 knee surgeries, so he's kind of laid up in the lazy boy. He's a venture capitalist. She's still trying to figure out and explain what that is. They go down memory lane and they have like a bin of all of her old things, and they kind of look through it. Her mom, I believe, says she was always wild, and they had to bail her out of a lot of different things. They want to know why she into this guy. His name is Joshua. He's from Australia. She says he's sexy. He's 39, caring and attentive. When I see his picture, he looks like a player to me. He looks like a little slimy. So he doesn't look like Mr. Nice Guy material to me just by looks alone, right? So she says he slid in the DMs. But then she reveals all of the major thing that her parents had to help her get out of before this was her ex stole her identity, racked up over $500K in credit card debt in her name, and her dad had to get out of that. So her parents had to get her out of that. So her parents are like, no more swindlers. You know, you have to have an exit strategy. If this guy is messed up, you need to have a plan to get out of these scenarios, because basically they're not going to be able to bail her out 24/7, especially if she's in another country. There's really not much that they can do. So she just goes back to her place, talks about her being a crazy cat woman. People have said that she had 3 cats and a dog. She says, well, right now she only has 2 cats, and she used to hate cats. She thought she was allergic, but now she fell in love with her cat, Stella. And then she starts talking about her cat may have passed gas, which was kind of gross. And she said, well, what if the cat licked itself and then licked me in the face? Well, that's your problem. Don't let the animal lick you in the face. Okay, this is a long learned rule. I'll say in my culture is that we don't really like our animals to lick us in the face and mouth, because we don't, you know where their mouth has been. You've seen them clean themselves. So why would you allow that? I don't know. Anyway, people do what they do and they're happy with it. I mean, that's on you if that's what you want. She then talks about her cat being transgender. Her last partner she was with named the cat Stella. They thought it was a girl. When they went to the vet, they found out that it had a male part. So she now is saying that her cat is transgender and up with the times, so to speak. And she said since her cat is gender confused, but she would date her cat if it was a human because she's obsessed with her cat. So she's kind of is crazy and weird. I think we already knew that, right? There's nothing wrong with loving your pets, but what is she even saying? So now she's going to hang out with her friends. They describe her kind of, I guess, as the crazy wild girl. She expresses her concerns with the new guy, Jonathan, some things she didn't tell her parents. He's basically broke. He lives with his parents, but she says he is a loving, kind guy. He feels like he's really a good guy when they talk. But there was an alarming text that came through, and she doesn't know how to handle this. And her friends may say, just leave this guy alone. One of her friends said, like, it's a huge red flag. And all of them look concerned on the fact that this guy is 39 and he has a roommate or he has to stay with his parents or whatnot. So she doesn't want to add fuel to the fire and say, I got this text that we don't even know what it is, but she's alarmed by it herself. So next time we'll see. I mean, to me, he's giving so many red flags. At this point, shouldn't you step back? She's 32. She's still somewhat young. She's a little bit still too hopeful that, hey, this might be the guy. After everything she's been through, I feel like she should be a little bit more cautionary. Being scammed and taken for over $500K. I mean, come on. You should have a little bit more smarts when it comes to this love situation. But we'll see what this alarming text is next time. All right, Sheena and Forrest, in the beginning of their little segment of the show, Sheena is introducing her parents to these different, not her parents, Forrest's parents to these different fruits in her country. One of them is really sour. Mom tries to wipe the sourness from her tongue. And it seems like Mom's a bit of a daredevil when it comes to food investigations here. They are planning, his parents, are planning to go look at a special organ at a church or something like that. While the couple, Sheena and Forrest, they're going to go off on their own today. They head to this special mall. They keep calling each other honey baby. You know how couples do. It can be annoying. It really can. They go to this mall and it's set up like Venice. They get their own little bit, a moment of romantic and alone time. And he really does want to talk to her and say, no more lies. Let's, have the right relationship we need to have. So this mall is set up like Italy. It's supposed to have a gondola and all of these things and gondola rides. Then there's a spot they stop at where you can dress up any way that you want. So he's going to dress like a king and she's going to dress like a princess. And this is Forrest's dream. They take pictures. And they kind of talk about different love situations, loves and lies. For some things that she feels that she finally wants to open up to him about. Is there's more truth to tell, some more secrets, Sheena? It's a little bit alarming, but she tells them at the end of the day she had a previous partner, kind of used her as a side chick. He was already with someone. She never felt love, and she felt lied to. She blamed herself like she wasn't perfect and drove this guy away. And she doesn't want to do the same with Forrest, so she lied to try to keep him around. And Forrest says the right thing. He says that guy really didn't deserve you. Just tell me up front what's going on with you and I'll support you. You don't have to lie. And she says she'll do her best to open up and trust him more. So they go on the little romantic gondola ride. Forrest sings some bad Italian. I guess he thinks it sounds Italian because I know he doesn't know Italian, but something that may sound like an Italian song. To me, it kind of ruined the vibe, but he gets a kiss, they get a kiss, and they share a little moment of romance. And as they're about to leave this special mall, Forrest decides to get on that knee and propose. And she says, I do. They cry together. They get emotional. He's like, thank you for staying with me for so long. And I'm sorry that I'm just not able to come see you. It was emotional. Then for some reason they start joking about using dog chains and all of this. I guess they're talking about bedroom stuff. She's like, since she works at the veterinarian, she has that free access to dog chains or whatever type of weird things they want to do. I don't want to know. But now it's time to tell Mom that he proposed. And, first he tells them about the mall and everything was fun. She's like, oh, that's nice. You guys had a good time. And then when he says I proposed, Then the mom starts kind of cussing him out, saying he was sneaky. She's supposed to prove herself before you're going to propose to her, and your life is over. And he has his little say back at mom, but mom pretty much roasted him alive with her reaction. And even Sheena, who says basically we're adults, it's our choice, we can make our own decisions. Obviously mom doesn't agree. So looks like not so happily ever after for Sheena and Forrest, not just yet. Do I think mom's being a little unreasonable? Yes, I think she's being mean as well. Although I do understand her concerns, I don't think she should have came out at them like that. And she's like, well, don't you think why wouldn't you involve us? And, sometimes you want to do things alone. His mom's been a lot in his life trying to be supportive, and in some ways she may be smothering. And I understand why she's there and why she's trying to help, but she can be quite negative. So we're going to see what happens with that next time. All right, so we still got a couple more couples left here. We have Emma and Zaid. She reveals to Zaid at that moment that she was with another guy that was from Morocco, which he wasn't happy to hear that, but that she was also engaged. And Zaid reads her. He says, so you just want to get engaged? You just want to marry some guy? Why didn't you tell me this before all this time? What took you so long? He says, I don't know you. I don't trust you. You aren't good. Lies, lies, lies and stories. So, he gets all of that out. He said, I can't get engaged or propose to you. She's still expecting a proposal. Why? He breaks up with her and, well, I think she says, are you breaking up with me? He's like, yeah. And he smirks. And, well, she says, is it because of the other guy? And he says, no, because you're basically a liar. She said, why are you going to break up with me for this? She battles him when he said he's done with her and he needs space. So she's left in tears. She's saying, well, you're trying to say I'm such a bad person, but you lied too, and you did this and you did that. But, she ends up walking back to her tent in tears. They're still out in the desert. Zaid is basically packed up and ready to leave her. He got all his stuff packed. He was so done. She says, well, what about the 2 weeks that we have left here together? Aren't you going to stay another night here in the tents? And he's like, no, why don't you go call that guy that you were engaged to? So then she starts to cuss him out again, because she goes back and tries to talk to him after she walks away. And she said, well, you're a liar too. You don't want to tell everyone that we were in the bed together. And, he just starts taking all of his stuff off as far as the microphones. And he's like, I don't have to listen to this. You can say whatever you want. And he's just leaving. Like, he has already called a car to pick him up. And the person, whoever's driving, drove away really fast. She's crying and saying he's the horrible one. It's another breakup for her. All she wants to do is to get married and be in a good relationship. And she always gets left like this. And she says she's crying and she's just sitting there stranded in the desert. Good thing the cameras are there. Hopefully the camera people can make sure she has water and she doesn't just dry out in the desert and is totally stranded and start seeing mirages of all the Moroccan men that she's been with in the past are all coming to her. Of course that wouldn't happen. Just having a little fun with that. But Emma, you're going about this wrong, trying to find a man. And I feel like she has a strategy on some level. She probably knows these American men aren't gonna try to marry you for a moment, for a minute. It's really hard to get an American man to even try to settle down with you. They'll do everything else but marry you. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but a large portion, I'll say. It's not that easy. And I know American men complain about us, American women as well, certain things we won't do. I think that's why some people resort to finding love in other countries. And if she keeps going for Moroccan men that are Muslim, she must know the culture. She must know the fact that they talk about marriage and they want to be married. So she may be trying to use that and know, okay, these guys will marry you easier than other cultures. So let me go after these type of guys so I can get my engagement, so I can get my marriage. The way she's doing things, she's not going about it the right way. She sounds like she's obsessed with marriage. She's obsessed with being engaged. She needs to work on herself as a woman. I think that there's some things that she needs to do. Maybe something, I don't know. I want to talk about, her hair, which is what everybody's been talking about, but I'm not going to talk about that. I really just want to talk about the inside of her that probably needs some help. Maybe it's been rejected. Maybe it's been damaged and misused a lot. And she needs some help with that. That's what she needs to focus on. She needs to leave these men alone and find herself. She's still a relatively young woman. When she's 28, he's 27. You're quite young still, and you need to find out who you are. And you have the opportunity to do that. You don't have to rush into getting married to someone from another culture that you don't even fully understand. That's even putting yourself in another place that you may not even want to be in just to get married. So yeah, I think Emma has some work that she needs to do. Zayed, he ran away from the whole situation. And honestly, he's been tight-lipped about all of the physical things because of his religion. And he's still stuck with that, and I wouldn't blame him for reacting the way he did and trying to keep everything quiet. I'm not saying it was right, but by him revealing that, that wouldn't have really helped the situation or made anything better. I think she was just trying to make herself feel better, and that she wasn't so bad, but it takes two to tango, my friend. All right, Emma, I don't know. We'll see what's next with her. Daniel and Lisa finally... they're getting ready. They're getting prepared to meet the king. He puts on an Igbo hat, and she's like, your sacred Igbo hat makes you look like Santa. So she kind of makes fun of him there. While she's putting on her wig right in front of him. Hey, I don't have a problem with that. He knows about the wig scenario now. She had it glued on before. Well, now he knows. Get used to it. You're going to be seeing me put my wig on. The illusion is dead, okay? You'll see me get ready right in front of you. So they discussed the argument a bit when it comes to this other woman that keeps reaching out to Lisa saying he's a scammer. She was trying to get the screenshot she previously had sent for proof, but the lady has now blocked her. She feels a little better that she's been blocked because now she says, okay, this lady may be full of it. She's probably jealous of our relationship, and that's her issue. And maybe she's even a liar at this point. So they're going to dress up and meet the king. It's like, hey, you're going to have to dress up to meet this king. So the king's blessing means a lot. She's excited. And she's also curious as to what is going to happen. She's nervous as well. And is imagining going to this palace. But it doesn't look like a palace. It looks like, kind of a regular rundown neighborhood, I guess. And there are his uncle's there. And she's like, yeah, where is the palace? So when we get there to the king, no disrespect to the king, but he looks like a rent-a-king to me. He looks like he has costumes on. And he's ringing his bell. Ring my bell, Mr. King. No, please don't. He also says he's actually more like an oracle and a prophet. And he's going to ask the ancestors about Lisa. As Lisa approaches the king, he asks to see her palms. And I think he says something like, I don't think that you're good for Daniel. And she starts laughing. And then he's upset about her laughter. He thinks she's mocking her, tells her to go back. And Daniel stands up for her and says, no, she really is just nervous right now. She's been doing the best she can to learn our culture. She's nervous about that. So the king gives her another chance. She gets to go back up. And he then gives her his blessings. Then he says, well, now I'm going to have to see you dance. This is your final test. He says your dancing is good. I can't really tell if the dancing was good. He was playing that bell. It wasn't any real music playing. I can't, you need music to really be able to dance. And the first time she started dancing, when he first came and proposed to her, the dancing was not very good. Maybe she is a little bit more in sync with Daniel. They were both dancing together. To me, I really couldn't assess that, but the king knows best, right? So now she's got approval from the uncle, approval from the king, but she reminds us, oh, you have to reveal that I'm still married to a woman right now. But anyway, the king says she danced well. He says, our wife dances well. Now you're one of us. I'm like, okay, our wife? Or she now? Is every woman that comes in here now married to the king as well? Like, what does that mean? Whatever the case, this is a sticky situation. Daniel has done a lot. She has done a lot to prove herself to this culture. She's really disrespecting this culture and this country because she's still married. But all these people are saying, oh, you're approved, you're approved. It makes me wonder, are they really talking to the ancestors here? Or are they talking to the ancestors but not talking to Jesus? I don't know, because he's supposed to be a Christian. So I don't know if I've heard Jesus' name mentioned in this during this whole time. But he's done some questionable things, in my opinion, as he did not wait till after marriage to be with her. She was putting pressure on him. Not to say that he wasn't going to do it in the first place. I don't know. Whatever the case, it is what it is. And it looks like the truth will be coming out any day now for Lisa. What are your thoughts, comments, questions on this episode of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days? There's some things to unpack. It's some messiness. Where's the love? Is anything going to work with any of these couples? Only one that looks the most promising to me is Sheena and Forrest. She had her lies, but it looks like they're getting beyond those things, and hopefully things work with them. I don't know. I think that because of Forrest's disability, he'll continue to need support and assistance, but what will that look like? Mom, if she's still around, she will have to step back, but she's still going to probably be supportive in some way. I'm sure that Sheena can also help him, but I think the mom might know a little more of the nuances of what he needs. But at some point, maybe she can step back as well, and Sheena can assist him as they continue their life together. Maybe he can get into some programs that can help him as well. I don't know his life and all the things that he does, but I wish the best for that couple. The other couples, I don't know. I mean, I do wish the best for them, but if you have a lot of lies and other things going on, the foundation isn't solid. I just question if some of these people should even be together in the first place, especially if they have their own insecurities that they need to work out within themselves. Maybe they need to take some time and step back and do that thing. Alright, prayers up for them, and prayers up for you. Thanks guys for watching, listening, hanging out with me. Thoughts, comments, questions, email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. Check us out on our other platforms at cbiztvmedia.com. And we'll talk again, guys. All the best. God bless.